Now, our next award is the Karen L. Evans Immigrant Champion Award. Beginning in 2012, the Immigrant Champion Award changed its name to the Karen L. Evans Immigrant Champion Award. Ms. Evans' earnest and personal commitment to assist individual immigrants epitomizes the legacy between Iowans and first-generation immigrants. This award recognizes an organization or non-immigrant who's dedicated to making a positive impact on the immigrant community. The award recipient demonstrates both a personal and professional commitment to and advocacy on behalf of immigrants and their families and communities. Presenting this award will be Ying Sa, CEO and Managing Partner of Community CPA. Welcome, Ying.
Hi everyone, this is Ying Sa from Community CPA, and we are here to celebrate the Immigrant Champion Award winner, John Zeitler. And our firm is the sponsor for this award. Let me tell you why we want to sponsor this award. And in our firm's history, and we started with one person, that's me, Ying, and we started with one person, and we run a professional service company called Community CPA to help immigrant entrepreneurs. And here, Community CPA has that DNA in our organization. There's so many immigrant business owners. They have the ambition, they have the hardworking spirit, but what they don't have is the knowledge to operate the business here in United States of America. And what Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit does is bring your dream to a place where logically regulation and requirement, tax code, and whatever you needed to become a real American business, we will bring you there. There's many John Zeitlers out there and helping the immigrant business people to succeed. And here, this year, we recognize the accomplishment of John Zeitler and recognize his contribution to the immigrant community. So with that, and I really like to welcome everyone to follow me to watch the video of John Zeitler. And don't forget to comment on the side offering congratulations to him, and knowing that we're in a virtual world, but our spirit can be felt. And your congratulations on the screen will reside with John to encourage him to do better and do more and save more businesses and helping more immigrants. Thank you for coming to Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit.
Pulled toward a higher calling from a young age, John Zeitler was born, raised, and ordained in Pennsylvania, but made Iowa his home when he joined the pastoral team at Holy Trinity Catholic Church. Beginning in the 1970s, following Governor Robert Ray's magnanimous decision to welcome thousands of Southeast Asian refugees to Iowa, John has been key in the identification, organization, and provision of essential services to refugees and immigrants.
It's hard for people nowadays who don't have the memory of it to realize how welcoming Iowa was to immigrants in the 70s with the Governor Ray. Every little country church was sponsoring a family, and I remember trying to get jobs for immigrants. You just take them down to Mercy Hospital and they'd hire them, they'd find something. By and large, Iowa has done pretty well by its immigrants.
I always remember John by his smile and his beautiful blue eyes. And he's just had such a welcoming, warm personality.
During the farm crisis in the 1980s, John was a pastor in Ringgold County.
Fortunately, in Ringgold County, there was an amazingly active, effective ministerial association. I met Carmen when we were both pastors there. She was pastor of the Baptist church. And then, 10 years later, we got married. A long time.
In 1990, he went to Tanzania, where he would spend 5 years helping in small-scale development. After he returned to Des Moines, John worked as a mental health counselor at Broadlawns Hospital and picked up where he left off, helping immigrants and refugees.
John was that one kind person that just always came to our house, made sure that we had everything, drove us to all our doctor appointments, took us grocery shopping, actually school supply shopping, everything, like anything you can imagine a person who, like a father or like a mother would do for their kids, John did for my brother and I for years. And I think he still continues to do that.
John's impact on immigrants and refugees whose lives he's touched is immeasurable. Their experiences of tragedy and triumphs have steeled his resolve and fed his soul for almost 5 decades, and he is far from done.
I happen to be at their home on multiple occasions when the phone rings and off he goes to help somebody.
With self-deprecating humility and genuine delight in their success, John wraps them up in his warmth to keep them safe from the hardships they have and would endure.
We were excited for school, but also nervous. But I remember just John waiting outside the door for my brother and I to get ready and eat our breakfast, and he walked us to the bus stop. And he continued to do that after then. Every day just walks to my house and walks my brother and I to the bus stop, even though the bus stop was like literally 1 minute or 2 minutes away from my house. And he still does that, and he sometimes walks to the bus stop and wait for my brother and I to come from school, and he walks us home. And he also made sure that my brother and I celebrated every birthday. Like, I don't want to get emotional, but like he just, they like just done a lot of stuff for my family.
His kind eyes, sparkling with understanding and compassion, evoke strong emotions of admiration, gratitude, and optimism.
It's very touching. From what I felt as a girl at that time, and with my mom, she was so has always talked about John, how of a wonderful man he is, and how he's always so kind and was always so helpful to us, to our family. So sometimes people don't realize the impact that they make, but they do.
He thinks himself as a servant, serving the needs of other people. So whether it's hosting international visitors, and they've hosted dozens and dozens of international visitors from all over the world, or finding a cell phone for somebody who needs it, or a car for somebody who needs it, or a better apartment for someone who needs it. He's just on the go and willing to do all of those things.
He is definitely someone that I consider very important to me, someone that I look up to, and try every day at everything I do to be as kind and generous to others as John is to people. So we love John. I love John. He's great.
For living a modest yet meaningful life, punctuated by 1,000 acts of kindness, while rising to every occasion during consequential times to soothe, bolster, and protect immigrants and refugees in Iowa and beyond, John Zeitler is the recipient of the 2020 Karen Evans Immigrant Champion Award.
To the National Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit, I give my heartfelt thanks for the honor of my receiving this Karen L. Evans Immigrant Championship Award. Thank you very much. And I appreciate Catherine Tron and her work to bring these summits together. It's really necessary work nowadays, what with the economic uncertainty. Interestingly, 15% of the U.S. population are considered immigrants. but 30% of the entrepreneurs are immigrants. Quite a remarkable figure. One of the things about immigrant entrepreneurs is that they bring prosperity not only to their own communities and the immigrant community in general, but to the whole country. And not only in this generation, but for generations to come. For example, my grandfather's grandfather came to the United States in 1848, 172 years ago, from Bavaria. He came with his wife, his 2 sons, and their wives. He and one son went to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and the son apprenticed himself to a saddle maker, leather worker, learned the trade, set up his own shop. The father, meanwhile, set up a dry goods store. They both prospered. And now you go to Punxsutawney, there's a street named after them, their biographies are included in the local history books, their monuments in the cemetery are massive, and their fine china is on display in the local museum. The other son, one who was a direct ancestor of mine, instead of being an entrepreneur, decided to go to the Pennsylvania coal fields. He went there and he dug coal the rest of his life. And his sons after him dug coal for the rest of their lives. One of those sons, my grandfather, died, and his son, my father, was halfway through 8th grade. My father had to quit school, and at age 14 went to work in the mines. And he worked manual labor the rest of his life. They should have all been entrepreneurs. I'd also like to thank the immigrants that I've had the privilege of working with. It's been such a joy and a privilege to share their lives. I'd like to thank Judy Conlon, who started the ELL program at Deer Ridge when she was director of the Iowa International Center. Thanks to Nick Wirtz of Lutheran Services in Iowa. Thanks to Judy Conlon, who set up Circles of Friends. Thanks to all the people at Embark. It's been such a privilege. Let me leave you with some well-earned wisdom from my father. He said, "You'll never make any money working for somebody else." Thank you.
Congratulations once again to John Zeitler. John, thank you for your passion for creating a welcoming place for immigrants in Iowa.